Now,
We've started.
all right, awesome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Uh, my name is Michael, and it is my rare privilege today to share with you what we're entitling digital transformation. And I'll first of all begin by maybe a short introduction. Like I said, my name is Michael. I go by Coach Mike, and I have the privilege of being the business development lead here at Project Life Design. And today rather, this morning, I would like to share with you guys the importance of understanding the platforms in which we play and how we can maximize the online space better. And so I'll share a few things. So particularly for me, one of the things, the areas of interest and key passion for me as an individual are digital transformation and also team building. And so I'd like to speak to those two elements and how they marry, and then we'll pivot into something before we close. So I'll just dive straight into the subject matter, and I hope that you'll be able to follow along. We have 30 minutes, and I want to keep it in that 30 minutes, especially on the backdrop of our wonderful session with Coach Bupe, who spoke about timing, our tone, and our text. So I want to make sure I keep these things in that particular scope. So, what is digital transformation? As big as those words may seem, digital transformation speaks to the fact that we live in a digital space. You know, everyone is on Facebook, everyone is on TikTok, everyone is on LinkedIn and Instagram. But what people do not understand about these platforms is that as good as they may be, when you are on Facebook, you're on TikTok, you are basically what we call a digital squatter. What that means is that because you have no stake on the platform that you are on, you are basically in danger. I'll say it like that. You are in danger, and here's why. I want to paint you a scenario. Imagine that you build your business on Facebook. You've been doing business on Facebook for 10 years. But because you do not understand that Facebook runs on policies and their policy allows them to do certain things without even consulting you. So, for instance, Facebook has got policies in and around bigotry and what they call hate speech or contradictory comments, violent speech. So, if your page is reported, now remember, you've been building a business for 10 years, and your page is reported to be a bigoted page or you actually engage in hate speech, Facebook reserves the right to close your page. Hear me well. Close your page without any communication with you. You can go to bed tonight, and in the morning, your page is closed because someone had reported that your page engages in certain things that are contrary to their code. All right. What that means is that if you are doing your business on Facebook, 10 years of business, you find yourself in a space where now you are limited. You can't do business, and you do not know, there's no time frame that allows for you to understand how long their research or their investigations will take. Nothing is given to you. They'll just close your page, and then you find yourself in that space and you can't do anything about it. So, what does that mean? That means that what you could have built over a long period of time, you could lose overnight because you have not curated your digital space or your digital presence correctly. And this is where people like myself come into play. We help you curate a digital presence that is viable. The word viable here is important because people are online and they think that it is enough to post, it is enough to keep my page active, and yet that is not the case. These platforms run on a code of conduct. They also run on an algorithms that change very frequently. And so you must understand how that platform functions in order for you to maximize that particular platform. Remember, we had mentioned already, we have coined the word a digital squatter because you have no rights, you have got no jurisdiction over that platform. You are a squatter. Whatever they decide to do with your platform, that is it. So, how then do we curate a digital presence that is viable? We develop what we call an ecosystem. One of the key elements of your ecosystem is a website. A website is a platform that you build for yourself that allows you to be uniquely you in a way that no one else can challenge and no one else can throw flag on. You are allowed to be you and nothing can be done about it. And then you leverage these other platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn to drive traffic to your platform. So that in the event that someone wakes up today and says, Coach Mike seems to be doing so well on Facebook, I don't like him, and they report my page, and I wake up tomorrow and my page is down, people are still able to follow me onto my website because that particular platform exists as my personal possession. I own that platform. I am a landlord online. I'm not a digital squatter. And so this is what is important about how we navigate and how we engage with the digital platform. The reason why we speak to this is because we are seeing a lot of people come to the place where I'm sure you've heard about people being hacked, people being their pages being compromised, and you find that this is an individual who's built that brand for years, and because of just one act, their brand crumbles to the ground. We don't want you to be a victim of such things. And so these are the tools and assets that we bring to the fore as digital transformation experts to make sure that you are able to curate a brand that is not only viable, that is internationally acclaimable, that is internationally recognizable. What do I mean by that? I mean that your brand should be able to speak to international standards, be able to inspire confidence. And one of the things that inspires confidence online is a website. You may have your Facebook. You know that, for instance, if you engage with an individual like me who's a content creator and things like that, I can be able to populate a Facebook page that was created today and have it look like it's been existing for a long time. And so the individuals that we deal with who are international understand whether it's an employer, whether it is someone who you're engaging for funding, whatever the case, they understand that Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn may not necessarily be the most reliable reference points for engagement with somebody. So creating an ecosystem gives you the platform, the opportunity then to have credibility, to have credence online. You'll be able to inspire confidence in people who might be sponsors, who might be investors in your business, because the ecosystem exists as proof of the fact that you're not a fly by night. You are a reputable institution and establishment. All right. Now, I did mention that my excuse me, my key areas of interest are digital transformation and team building. The reason I pair these two is because as we help businesses and individuals curate online visibility, online platforms, and online profiles that are viable, we understand that it is essential for you to be able to build teams that function and teams that are able to be effective. An effective team. So, for instance, I'll give you an example before I go that way. One of the things that we have realized in the market is that or companies consider team building just an outing where they can go and drink, have fun, and in as much as some of those things are important because they encourage team dynamics, camaraderie in the team morale, but they are not what team building is. In my attempts to explain team building, let me tell you a story. In this story, I am a premium banker, and I walk into a premium banking suite, and I am served. So as I walk in, I'm offered tea and coffee by someone. I'm quickly called to the teller's office, and I'm served. So I go through 3 or 4 people who are serving me exceptionally. And as I am about to leave the banking suite, the person who is handling the door gives me a horrible attitude. And as I walk out, that is my last experience. What will happen when I'm given the opportunity to review this banking suite? The truth of the matter is, I will be able to tell them the likelihood is that all these other efforts by the people who treated and handled me with care, with expertise, will be overshadowed by this one person who didn't treat me well. And the review they will receive will be hinged heavily on my experience with the person who gave me bad attitude. What that means is that a team is only as strong as its weakest link. So you as a team leader, or you as someone who is developing yourself to build a team that is effective, a team that is productive, you must understand and first identify your weakest link and make that individual the most, or rather, you make that individual the standard for the team. You understand that no matter how good we are, this is our standard, and you begin to work on that person until you're able to normalize the level of productivity, the level of efficiency for the team. It is the same whether you're looking at a team that plays football. We were able to yesterday watch a game where the Copper Queens here in Zambia beat Ghana, barely beat Ghana. But what we understand when you're dealing with teams is that your weakest link is the level of operation you are rated at. And so they were able to win because you cover and work around where you are weak in order for you to be able to make progress. And so team dynamics allow for the functionality of the organization to be at par with what your brand that you are building, whether it's online or wherever it is you're building a brand, represents. Otherwise, you'll find that as people interact with the organization, they meet something that does not coincide with what it is that you're putting out there. And so these are the two things that we believe, when synergized, allow you to have a brand that is not only viable, but that you can internationalize, and not only internationalize, but actually win and be able to attract international acclaim, awards. And so that allows me quickly now to pivot into something that brings these two together very well. I am privileged, like I had mentioned, to work with Dr. Nellie Kangwa here at Project Life Design. And one of the things that is an advantage of being part of our network is that every year Dr. Nellie is able to take a group of individuals to America, to New York, to receive awards under the Global Women's Network. Now, it is, I would like to quickly here give credit where credit is due. It's not a small thing for someone to build their brand to the place where their recommendation can get you access to a place like New York. But every time Dr. Nelly makes that recommendation, she's putting her reputation on the line to say that this particular individual, they've built a brand that is not only brilliant, but is able to contribute to their community. Now, this is why we exist, like I said, to help you internationalize, build and curate a brand that is recognizable across the world. But even if Dr. Nelly gives you a recommendation like she does, unfortunately, what we have come to find is that the American embassy is very good at scrutiny. And so we help you build brands that can stand up to international scrutiny, where people are able to look at your brand, pull it apart to its composite parts, and still see that this is something that is worth recognizing, something worth partnering with, this is something worth aligning with. All right. And so what we have seen is, because people have neglected these things we are talking about, understanding how to leverage these online platforms towards individual excellence, not just remaining a digital squatter, where you are able to create a platform that speaks to you as a brand, speaks to you as an organization intricately, and represents you holistically. We have found that even though Dr. Lely has recommended, there are people whose brands have not been able to stand up to such scrutiny because they do not exist in a way that is viable. And so it is important then to understand that it is not enough for you to be coming on this platform to post and you think that activity or business on them automatically makes you viable. No, there's a way that you curate your online presence for viability. There's a way that you can structure an ecosystem around your brand that gives you a voice that is international. And so this year, Dr. Nelly is traveling, if I'm not mistaken, with a group of 16 individuals who, through the year, last year, 2023, were able to help them curate their brands, establish their fortitude online. Because those things happen online. People are in New York, the embassy calls you for an interview, but they will go through your online platforms, your profiles, to see whether indeed you deserve this award. You deserve to be given the opportunity to be celebrated the way that you are claiming that you do. And so, why is it then important? Why would you want to curate your brand? Why would you want to curate your online presence? Like I said, to be able to leverage such opportunities, to be able to find yourself in the space and place where you are not only employable, but you enhance your employability. There's one of our master coaches here at Project Life Design, Dr. Joyce. I think I saw you present. You dropped a comment. Dr. Joyce has labored intensively to show us the importance of how she has been able to advance her career because of her presence online, how she has curated her presence online, and how her employers and the future employers have been able to look through that curated brand and seen the value in engaging with her. And so it's not enough to be on Facebook. It's not enough to be on LinkedIn, on Instagram. It's not enough to be posting on these platforms. You must understand that you must curate your presence for viability. You must curate your presence for visibility that allows you to not only be visible, but be acclaimable, be credible. Allow yourself to be seen not as a fly by night, but as an establishment that is worth looking into, worth partnering with, and worth aligning with. I have rushed very, very quickly to and labored to expound as much as I could because, like I said, I'm coming on the backdrop of what Coach Bupe has been have trained us on when it comes to your timing, your tone, and your text. And so I would like to end here. Now, I would like to close my presentation this morning by inviting you to engage with us. Myself personally, with my skill set and what I can provide for your brand, but also with Project Life Design, because we have structured ourselves. When I had the privilege to share about Project Life Design, I said, Project Life Design is a factory, and the product that we produce is you. And so we are structured in a way that we want you to get to the place where you're not only engaging in professional engagements when it comes to your career and enhancing your career, but bringing you to the place where you discover your intrinsic abilities, your natural giftings, your passions, and helping you transition yourself from having those passions as idle activities or things that you do on the side, but actually making you come to a place where your passion can bring you profit. And then you expand that passion to begin to give back to your community, to your environment, and then we help you get to the place where your passion can get you recognizable on global stages. And so I'd like you to be feel free reach out to us. Let's help you do the most online. Let's help you do the most with your brand, with your organization, and with yourself as an individual to develop yourself to the place where you are living fulfilled, living lives that are enhanced, living lives that place you in the spaces and places where you are able to not only be the best self, but also be best positioned to help other people actualize and become in whatever space you play in. Thank you so much. Allow me to appreciate, first of all, Dr. Nellie, my personal mentor and coach. And I have the privilege of actually having been coached by all our senior and master coaches on the platform, from Coach Sunny to Reverend Walter. I have the privilege of individual access. So I am what you might call a privileged son. And so I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And I'll hand over to Rev to wrap it up. Thank you. And I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to seeing you curate brands that are internationally acclaimed. Cheers. Have a good morning.
Okie doke. You threw me in the, what's it called? That's a word. What did you call? You threw me in the middle of the mix. You normally are supposed to just wrap it up and close. So we still have about 11 minutes before it's time. And sorry, I won't come on camera because today is normally not my day. So we don't do this. But having said that, what Matongo raises is very, very serious. Coach Matongo raises is very, very serious, because a lot of people, I love the term that he used there. He used the term digital squatters. I like that term, Matongo. And you see, that is really a big problem. So there's another area. You know, in our training, in our setup, there is something also which I could introduce here to help you people. We call it the customer value journey. What is a customer value journey? And I'm going to tie in with a lot of what Coach Mike has mentioned this morning. Customer value journey is the experience that your potential prospect experiences or goes through as they are coming onto your platform. In other words, when they engage with you on your digital platform, what is their experience? So normally, the first place where that kind of experience is sensed is what we would call the awareness realm or the awareness sphere. So, what exactly is that awareness sphere? This is what Coach Matongo referred to when he was speaking about the fact that what kind of setup have you got that allows your prospects to get to know about you. So that's of course your social media plugins and all the different platforms, what he so colorfully referred to as our squatting points. Now that is a very critical thing because that's where it all starts. But one of the greatest challenges I've noticed with a lot of people who create these online platforms is they don't create what we call a call to action or a CTA, call to action. You see, you don't just want to be online for the sake of being online. You know, for me, that is a waste of a lot of energy because you have the opportunity to call those people to action. So one of the first ways that happens is through engagement. So first engage. And you know, you'll be amazed how, for example, all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, will penalize you if you post stuff and do not engage. So they're very, very good at penalizing. What do I mean when I say penalizing? They are not going to promote your posts, they are not going to serve your posts, and they will hide it from potential prospects. So one of the first things you must do, and this is what really gets us to end up spending too much time on social media, but we can't run away from this because it's a double-edged sword. If you don't engage, and what is engaging? Engaging means you like the post, so you put a reaction of some sort. Now remember, you've posted your stuff. Then people start commenting underneath. You need to either like or react to whatever they've said. And then more importantly, you need to also respond. So you need to put some posts down there. Be like, thank you, or I agree, or I disagree, and then you can start a whole discussion. But the point is, if you don't do that, what ends up happening is that Facebook realizes that you're not interested in engaging people. And since their goal is to get people engaging on their platforms so that they stay longer, then the algorithms, which is the programming that's running behind the scenes, will not serve your page. That's why some of you have pages, but there's hardly anything going on with your pages. The answer is very simple. It's because you as a page, and I'm speaking specifically page, not profile. You as a page are not going and engaging. And engaging isn't just engaging on people reacting to your posts, but identify influencers online. So you got to be very strategic. And I'm not just saying any influencer. So don't just say, let me go react to what, for example, Motale Mwanza is posting or Bianca is posting. Do these people share values that you feel relate and connect with your own brand? If they do, by all means, go ahead. If potential prospects that you deal with would be on such pages, go ahead. So, for example, if you do nails, okay, you do nails, you do makeup, it would make a lot of sense to go and react and engage with Mutale Mwanza's page because of the kind of person she is. You know, people who are into the whole vanity look would be big on that. So by interacting with a page like hers, there will be people there who already admire her look, her hair, her makeup, whatever it is. And so they're very likely, if they see that you've created a good page with all the pictures of what you do and all that stuff is there, many will be more likely able to come through to your page and start to engage with your page. So that's how you collect followers, so to speak, because you start engaging with influencers pages. So a person like me, I would rather engage with a person like Dumisani, Chibamba Kanyama, those types of people, Dr. Nellie, Sunshine, Coach Sunshine Sylvia, and that caliber. Maureen Nenechi, Inonge, Moments with Inonge. There's a certain caliber of people, Daniel Kabani. So I'm giving you names of people who are kind of in the same space I'm in, Dr. Kelvin Sokuni. So you find that they post a lot of professional things and they kind of match with what I do. So there's some synergy. And then, of course, I've got dear brothers in the faith, like Bishop Oscar Mumba and a few others. So you find I will post in those groups and then I'll also react to some of the things those people do. And so what happens is these things start to kind of you get what we call the knock-on effect. These people start to come to your page. So engagement, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely essential. If you don't engage on your platforms, I assure you, no one, that the system will not even recognize you. Now, beyond that, after engagement comes the most important part, and that's where I'll end, which is subscription. Let me say that again. Subscription. Write that down if you can. So what do I mean by subscription? You see, at the end of the day, the call to action must get those potential people interacting on social media to come on board. And what do they need to do? They need to subscribe to whatever you're doing. So what does that mean? That means that you need to move them. Remember, we're digital squatters, as colorfully described by Coach Michael. So if we are squatters, it means even if I have 2 million followers, they are not mine. Any day I can have my page closed, something can happen, and there goes my 2 million followers. It can be hacked as well. That's been very common of late. So what you want to do is you want to move them off the platform. So how do you do that? There are several ways. Number one, you can have a call to action which will lead them somewhere. So either to a subscription form, or they can join your WhatsApp group, or they can reach you on WhatsApp. And by the way, every time you're doing these things, Messenger, whatever, every time you're doing these things, make sure they end up on a list somewhere. Let me pause there. I want to make a very strong statement, and I know it to I've already been called a terrorist on social media. But here's my point. I think this will really hit home. If you right now are a so-called influencer, if you right now are a so-called digital squatter on social media, and you have activity online and you don't have a list, you are insane. Let me say this again. Let me say this again, because I need to really stress this. If you right now, I'm talking to you, I'm listening to you, you're listening to me right now, you're hearing the sound of my voice, you are active, you've got a page on social media, you are busy promoting whatever you're promoting there, and you don't have a list, like you don't have a list. And what is a list? A list is name, phone number, email. Name, phone number. If you don't have a list right now, you're mad. You're mad, you're insane. Why? Because then you are wasting precious resource. Those you have no people. In short, there's nobody you can market to, because remember, there is something we call attraction marketing in this space. Whatever you do attracts people. And if you have a product or service, there are people who will engage because they want your product or service. And if you are not capturing those people's details on a form which translates into some form of a database, then go back and get serious. You need to have a list. So one of the things we do is we create platforms for such purposes. I have a list right now. I have, let me see, almost 15,000 names on different lists on my platform. Okay? So you need to make sure that at any given time you can contact countless people. And for me, they are not just one huge list. They are segmented lists. That's a terminology from marketing. So it is a segmented list. So there are people who liked me and followed me because of my book, 5 Major Reasons Africa is Poor. There are people who follow the 7 principles. There are people who follow my crazy rants on Christian issues. There are people who follow. So there are very different groups. And you need to have different subscription forms for these different groups so that you are able to give relevant data to those people. Put them on an email marketing platform. MailChimp is a good example. MailPoet. There are so many right now. And you can put them on that and they can begin to receive curated, specific, sector-sensitive info. So these days, Telegram and WhatsApp have grown huge. You can create communities. You get people to go on those communities using the attraction model. So don't put people there, but ask them if they want to be there. And if they do, they'll put themselves there. That means whatever you're sending, they want to hear from you. These are very effective methods. Also, get the right tools that allows you to reach the massive list with special offers. Like, for example, you say, I'm about to launch my book, Dear Hubby, Dear Wife. Those of you interested in keeping up with my book and the dates on which I'll launch, please subscribe or please join and I will keep you posted. So from your huge list, so me, I've got tools where I can send even 1 million WhatsApps directly, whether they're on my whether they are saved on my phone or they are not. I've got the list, I've captured those details. They can receive my WhatsApp, they just go boop 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 boop. I've got SMS platforms as well where I can send SMSs, so I can notify my entire list. And those who are interested, I put a little link in the message where they can click and they can go and they put their names down. So this, my friends, is what we call the subscription model. So I've just ended on those three. This is customer value chain. There's a lot more, but I'm just going to do those three. So number one, create awareness. Number two, engage the people. Number three, subscribe. And you see, there's number four, close. So always be closing. A, B, C. Always be closing. In other words, get them to buy. Sell. That's what I'm saying. So don't just get them on your subscription. So what? It has to lead to a transaction and a sale. So what are you selling? What do you have to sell? Is it coaching services? Is it books? Is it special products? Is it consultation? Is it speaking? Is it therapy like my sister Bobby? What is it that you do? That has to lead to a close. You've got to lead to a transaction and get some money to move from them to you. Have a product. So me, I'm always selling. I have multiple products across my multiple digital platforms, and all of them are automated. I just see to my notifications, back 100 kwacha, back 50 kwacha, back 100 kwacha, back 500 kwacha, just like that. All of them are automated. I was very impressed the other day. I went into the PLD events page and I noticed they've sorted that out right up to the payment platform with BroadPay, where now you just select the mobile money platform and boom, it's done. You even put your thing, a prompt, enter your PIN, and boom, done. This is how you should operate. So pldevents.net, I believe, is a classic example of what I'm talking about. The whole thing is automated. So as the PLD people are marketing the Real Women Summit, the whole thing is automated, beginning to end. There's no need to be chasing up people except those who've registered and not paid, because that's the other beauty about these things. If they go on the system and then they don't pay, the system captures their name. So again, you can go there and you can click on to show you the incomplete carts. We call them the cart abandoned cart. So if the carts are abandoned, what is an abandoned cart? It's when people get right up to the point of paying and then they don't pay. So those are called abandoned carts. So if you have an abandoned cart, at that point, you can now get the PLD grants to get on the phone and call and say, oh, John, how are you? Yes, this is Jane from PLD. We noticed that you actually were interested in purchasing the ticket, but you stopped short of buying it. Oh, yes, actually, I realized there's no money in my account. All right, so when will you be ready? You see, so now you're prompting. Now you are prompting. So by prompting, what happens? Those people will now say, oh yeah, no, okay, I think by Monday I have money. So quickly, you go to your system, you put a reminder, Monday, John, Monday, you ask them, what time can I touch base with you? Maybe you can remind me at 14 hours, you put it on your system. So 14 hours and then you call John, you remind them. You can even text them, John, are you ready? This is Jane from PLD, reminder to purchase the ticket. You'll be amazed, my friends, how many sales you close with what I've just told you. Just what I've told you. How many more people will pay? You know why? Because John will forget by Monday. It's got too much pressure. The mother had the BP on Saturday. So they are running up and down and they have no time to remember that there's a PLD event which they want to attend because they are so busy with whatever they are doing. So that little reminder on Monday is the difference. You close. You close. Do you know statistically 10% will never buy, 10% will buy nonetheless, and 80% need to be reminded. And those of us who are in network marketing, we can tell you it's usually 5 contacts. that's when they close. 5. Okay, nakamba vambiri. So Mike threw me in the pit. I think I've done justice to the pit. So on that note, I want to close and looking forward actually to Nsama. Nsama needs to come on and do some teaching as well on some of these digital things. But you know, some of us, this is what we do as a business. This is how I manage my businesses. I use a lot of automation everywhere, and it has been a lifesaver because I'm able to earn a lot of money asleep, so to speak. Alrighty, you be blessed and take care, everybody. Join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we have um, Dr. Jackie is supposed to be on, but we have what do you call it? A special guest. His name is Dr. John Mobanga. He'll be speaking on living a disease-free life. Oh, you do not want to miss that, guys. You want to come on. Living a disease-free life is the foremost man. Everything I know about health, I've learned from Dr. John Mobanga. He is what they call a homeopathic doctor or a naturopathic doctor trained in reflexology, acupuncture, acupressure from China and Belgium. Very knowledgeable man. You do not want to miss tomorrow. Tell your friends that there's a Dr. John Mubanga and he's going to start teaching the lesson how to live a disease-free life. Alrighty, be blessed. We'll see you tomorrow.